Hello, this is the LCR dice game enhancement. So you can see right in the beginning that we've changed it so that the directions now appear right at the start. We also added here where we explain that what the symbol for the dot is. And then we can see that the main game loop begins here. As before, it asks the number of players. The control is set up so that it will only allow a valid integer. Then once that is entered, ask for the player names. Now we've also added here, at the end of the round, displays the round is ended, and it waits for user input. So before it would simulate every single round, so depending on especially how many players the game could result in 15 plus rounds, and you would have to manually scroll up to see what happened. So now, end of round 1, enter, end of round 2, end of round 3, 4, 5, and then round 7 we have the winner, then ends the program. We'll now show some of the enhancements that have been made to the LCR dice game. We'll start in the main file here, and in the main function. You can see we've deleted a lot of the extra variables and a lot of the unnecessary comments. There was some work being done inside the main function. We've now wrapped them inside methods that are called. We've also reordered, as you can see, as was displayed in the demo, that we're going to start with the directions. Then we've created this new function, setup players. Instead of putting the while loops and the for loops for the player counts and the player names inside the main, they're now inside the setup players method, and then our start game method. So display directions, pretty much the same. We've gotten rid of I got rid of a lot of the extra comments here. Then we have the new method, setup players. So we have our number of players, continues until we get 3 or more players. Once we've gotten the player size, we're going to populate the structure, and we're going to get a name for each of them. Change the class name from obtain name to assign name. That's much clearer. Here we have the set number of players. This is the same as it was before. Total number of players, input, please enter total here. And it gets checked when it tries to return here. We have our start game. So just eliminated some comments here, and we added this here. So now this displays end of round, and then the system pause provides that press any key function. It'll wait until the user presses the key. So now the output won't stream through the entire game without pausing. Go up. So the rolls dice function is almost the same. We changed this from simply roll count to dice roll count to be explicit. That way we could eliminate a comment here and said like get dice roll count or display message. So with the clearer variable names, we could eliminate a bunch of unnecessary comments. So we added this comment here. It's also been added in the rules, as was shown in the demo, that the dot, the asterisk symbolizes the dot or a neutral roll. Alright, so here's the adjust chips function added here. Explains what was explained in the first code review, that if the player on the left is symbolized by the -1 to the position of the current player in the vector. So here we check to make sure that we don't create a vector overrun, because if the first player vector is, if it's his turn and his or her turn, they roll left, we can't go -1, so we have to wrap it. And if it's a center, doesn't matter, we don't have to check for an overrun. And then the right, same thing, except now the position is +1, so we check if the player is at the end, and then we wrap it around to the beginning. So there's display roll message. This one was unchanged. check winner. This was changed from just saying winner to check winner. Determine and display winner. Before it just said display winner, or sorry, before it just said determine winner. Let's see there. Now we mentioned in the demo to change this line in the rules, make it explicit that here's what a dot looks like. And now we'll review some files that were not reviewed last time. So we have the dice class header file here. It's very simple. It's class one public static character of roll dice. So here we have roll dice. See, determine the side rolled. Just run a random number. Then if it is 1, 2, 3, we're going to get L, C, or R accordingly, and then the remaining rolls are stars. So we have another switch statement with a default. That's it for the dice class. All it's symbolizing is a six-sided die roll, and we convert the numbers to the left, center, right, or the dot to correspond to our game here. So the player class, a little bit more involved. So we have some private functions for encapsulation here. We have the chips, we have this name, then we have the set name function to adjust that name. Public functions, we have player structure itself. We have the number of dice to roll, the assign name, take chips, give chips, get the name, and get the chips variable. So here's our default constructor for a player. So each player created is going to have 3 chips and a blank name or a space. Here we have our assign name function. Previously it was called obtain name. So here we enter the player name. This is a publicly available function, and then inside here you can call the private function to actually set the name. Set name. Then we can use another public function, get name, to return that name to the user. So this prevents, this is good practice for more secure code to prevent direct access to variables such as name, or as you see here, chips, being accessed in the main function. So here we see take chips, give chips, get chips. So these are used in the adjust chips method here. So you can see here, give a chip to the player on the right. The player gets to take a chip. Then if it's in the center, that player just loses a chip. It's not given to anybody. Dice player. So here we see where this is what's determined the number of dice to roll, which is based on the player chips. So we pass that here. It's visible to this function. We have our case statement, our switch statement with a default. So either they have no chips, so skip their turn. 1 chip is going to be 1 die, 2 chips is going to be 2 die, and 3 or more is going to be a return of 3 because the maximum dice rolled is 3. All right. That's it for the enhancement 1 on this artifact.